Good morning, I'm McKinley Leffel, and this is Tiger Today. We have a special show for you today, including a first for Tiger Today. But before we get to that, we will start with a story from our own Emmy Morrison.
What would you do if your friend was being stabbed to death? Long Island high school students stood by and recorded this on their phones. 16-year-old Chasine Morris was stabbed in the chest and later died at the hospital. But with 50 to 70 people watching and recording, why did this happen? One of the detectives that helped investigate later said they'd rather video. They videoed his death instead of helping him. Are we really that mentally trained that when we see human suffering, the first thing we do is pull out our phones? In this case, not helping the 16-year-old resulted in his death. The dispute was over a girl. Chasine knew that the girl's ex-boyfriend was after him because he walked her home from a party. Did he think it would go as far as him losing his life? Before you pull out your phones and record, just think what the consequences might be. It's actually against school policy to record these types of events. We need to be there for each other, instead of joking around about people getting hurt. For Tiger Today, I'm Emmy Morrison.
Thank you, Emmy. We definitely need to think before we reach for that cell phone. Mackenzie, how's our weather?
This weekend looks a little different. We still have cold temperatures, but adding a little freeze and snow to the mix. Starting out with Saturday, there will be rain and freezing rain with a high of 42 and a low of 32. On Sunday, there will be rain and showers with a high of 38 and a low of 30. Next week, we can expect a mixture of rain and snow showers throughout the week, and temperatures dropping from the low 40s to 20s. Everyone has a way that they don't want to die. One of my worst fears is dying in a volcanic eruption. Recently, New Zealand had a very deadly volcanic eruption. A sixth person is found dead, with many others suffering with major injuries, and some even lost. It was a very popular tourist attraction, and people were on the island at the time it erupted. It has devastated many families, but also the environment. No signs of life have been found.
Our Tigers were in action this past week as our basketball seasons got underway. Both teams are off to great starts. For more, we'll turn to Bree and Kendra with sports.
Our basketball teams are off to a great start. Both teams are undefeated and looking to continue their streak. The girls, led by a quick defense and strong scoring, beat Peterstown and also took Bluefield in 1-point game. The boys' game traveled to Peterstown, where they took care of their business in both JV and varsity. Then they traveled to Bluefield for another victory. Both teams look to continue their streaks, and we'll have more next week. Kendra, worldwide sports were pretty exciting, huh?
They sure are. It was conference championship weekend for college football, and in the end we have our top 4 teams who will face off in the college playoffs. Securing the top spot was LSU after a big win over Georgia in the SEC title game. Oklahoma jumped into the top 4 with a win over Baylor and a Utah loss. Here's a look at some of the big bowl matchups.
Sounds like there will be a lot of good games to talk about next week on the Worldwide Sports. Back to you.
When we return, we will have a special treat for you today. Joining us for the first time ever on Tiger Today are 2 special guests who have come up with a very unique product. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Wet Bread segment of the show. I'm the founder of our company, Chase Murray, and this is our CEO and financial manager. Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead. Tell them what wet bread is.
All right, so wet bread is bread that is wet. So, like, you take bread and you make it wet, and that's wet bread.
Indeed. And this could also be an alternative snack for Santa this year. So first step, you take your bread and you gotta soak it in. And you gotta let it sit. You gotta let it sit for a minute.
Stop it, man.
You let it sit for a minute and then, once we grab it, you're gonna put it in the container. And it's gonna be a little bit soggy, but like if you put it in the microwave or something, it might help it.
Can I try a piece?
Yeah, here you go. And yes, as you can see, it's very wet. We also have an assortment of different flavors, but we do not currently have those in stock at the moment. You gotta get the bread nice and wet.
Oh yeah, pretty wet.
All right, so now we will take it over to our judges.
3, 2, 1, go. Hi, I'm McKinley Roberts, your announcer for this evening. Now let's meet our judges. First judge is Aaron Campbell, second judge Rory Bailey, and third judge Mackenzie Buckner. Now, let's try the wet bread.
So while you guys are still standing here, when did you think of wet bread? It's about 2 or 3 months ago. We were in class and we thought it was a great idea that would eventually become a huge business success. That it has become. What are the flavors you're planning on putting in wet bread? We have Christmas, mint, rainbow.
Soggy sauce.
And we don't just have bread. We have.
That is terrible.
All right, I'll eat. I'll let Mackenzie eat before I do.
Terrible.
You swallow.
Do you guys need any money for the company?
No.
All right.
It is salty, and it's not sweet.
We've already bought our Lamborghini with the money.
Well, then take it back. It's terrible.
You eat a whole big piece, bro.
All right.
Eat a big piece.
Eat a big piece. Taste it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Play with it.
I am gonna get like salmonella from this. That's undercooked.
The crust is the best part.
That's
It's very undercooked. The crust isn't browned enough.
slimy.
It's not soggy enough.
Not brown enough.
It's salty, not sweet.
Well, it's bread.
I'll taste it.
It's supposed to be salty.
Horrible. You see this? This is your company. This is what I think of it.
Let me have it. No.
Dishes. Get out of my kitchen. I'm sorry that I.
Well, that's our show.
Well, I am sure glad I wasn't part of that taste test. That will do it for Tiger Today. Have a great morning. We'll see you next week.